Hey there, everyone. What's up? Welcome to another episode of Watch Soup regularly scheduled programming.
Monday night,
After,
baby.
yeah, after a couple of weeks of with football and all that kind of stuff getting in the way, and we're here. We're here. So hopefully we're back. Unless there's another Sunday night game where the Lions or the Commanders are playing. Hopefully we can get back at this. And Clayton, what's going on, man? How are you?
I think when that happens, when our teams are playing on a Sunday night, I think we just do like live stream commentary, uncensored, all the F bombs when our teams screw up. I think that'd be
Like a
wildly entertaining.
like Peyton and his brother and
Yeah, that's
Eli.
right. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
you
Yeah,
do
we can
something
do
like that.
yeah, the
No, no,
Scoopcast.
yeah, yeah. Super cats. I like that. No, no, I'm glad we're doing it tonight and not like tomorrow night because man, tomorrow I have to go in for like a dental procedure
Oh,
and I don't know, man. I'm not really looking forward to it. I don't know what the recovery time it's going to be with it, but yeah, always take care of your teeth, right? I mean, that's I know
yeah,
people are
that's
afraid to go
right.
to the dentist, but please, please, please do. Hey, what do you got on wrist tonight, man?
I'm wearing the Citizen chicken watch
Oh
here.
yeah, good
Yeah,
for you, man. Great
yeah,
watch.
still loving that. Yeah.
Love that watch. And I'm wearing my GP Seahawk too. Hey, Clayton, let's say hello to some people on the chat,
All right,
and
let's get
then
going.
we'll get right into the soup. Watch six though. What's going on, man? How you doing? James is here. How you doing, James? Joey B, what's up? His Eagles are playing tomorrow night, and his
Yes.
Bills. He's also a Bills fan. Walloped the Dolphins on Thursday night, I think.
Oh yeah,
Um,
wallop Tua. Unfortunately, that
I
was
know, poor
that's
guy, man.
scary.
We're actually going to talk a little football
All right.
after the two topics from the soup tonight. So stick around if you want to hear a little bit of football talk and watch talk involved with that. I think maybe some of you guys may figure out where we're going with this one. Wilson, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you. And there's Caliber YQG. How you doing, Caliber? Good to see you.
Thanks for
Okay,
joining, guys.
yeah. So we're gonna jump right into soup. I'm gonna go first tonight.
All right.
We're gonna do. I picked Federico Talks Watches, how to afford an ultra luxury watch. Now this is part of his Q&A videos that he does. This is one of the questions, but we're gonna go over a couple of them. There weren't that many this week, and then we'll go over each one, Clayton, and I'll get your take on what do you think. So the first one right off the bat. He answers the question. I feel like he gets this question every once in a while, but it's good to hear what he has to say because anyway, we'll get into why I think so. How important is service? And should a watch be service if it's working fine? And so, uh, we know Federico, he's got an online shop. He's also got a watchmaker in house because they have to check these watches as when they purchase them and make sure they're running correctly and whatnot, authenticate it, etc. So I figured getting his take on this should be very, very interesting. He said service is very important for a watch. Service is very important for watches that are rare, right? Or that have like a crazy complication. But other than that, if it's working fine, you know, don't even bother. Contrary to what brands recommend, you should not. This is his opinion. You should not service a watch unless it is very, very rare or very, very complicated. Most of the time, your watch will tell you when it needs a service. Timekeeping slows down, the crown gets a little stiff, and you may notice the pushers on your chronograph may be a little bit hard to compress or whatnot. And some say you should do preemptive servicing, right? um, uh, but so you don't wear out your parts. But his take was that like most of these watches, 99%, maybe that's a little high, but 99% of the parts that they use are generic and expensive to replace. And he says most companies will just replace them for you. Um, Going into so interesting take, right? Clayton. I mean,
Right.
I think for a while there, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure if I remember this correctly, but I thought Dale Ray was offering um services for watch service. Like I think he has a guy Hansi there. I'm not sure if they still do that now. So it's interesting that we get his take on it because it seemed like it was a service that they were offering at one point too. Why offer that service and then tell you don't need a service? typically. Um,
I think he said at one point that they were just overwhelmed
yeah,
servicing the watches they have in, that
yeah,
they were not taking any, off the street just from customers. Only watches they were selling. I think that's what they were servicing because it just got too much, and
yeah.
there's a shortage of watchmakers. So I think Hans might be his only one, and he was just getting a little overwhelmed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
In your the luxury pieces, have you had any? I think you've had some stuff that have gone back to service. Yeah, for sure, right? I mean, like, has
Yeah,
been your experience
not
with that?
not from just regular like owning a watch for 10 years. I
Hmm.
haven't done that yet really.
Yeah.
I have a couple that I've had for 5 years and they're
Yeah.
actually still running
Hmm.
really well. So I have not had one just to go in for a regular tune up.
Yeah.
But I've had things go wrong here and there that I've had to send a watch back.
Yeah.
Um just to like a pre-owned watch I bought from my authorized dealer in New Jersey that I had to send back to them. But yeah,
Yeah.
nothing just from, you know, 8 to 10 years of steady wear.
Yeah. Yeah. So this watch, I've had since 2005, and around 2018, 2019, I noticed, so I hadn't had it serviced, right? And it was fine. It was keeping time great. But I had noticed that the date was changing at 6 o'clock, not at 12 o'clock. And so I did send that in for service. And now the watch, I've was wearing it fairly regularly for like 13 years. Again, timekeeping was great. It just noticed that little change was not happening at the right time. And so I sent it. Cost me like $800,
Okay.
because they had to send it back to Switzerland. But that's the only service I've had on that. My Panerai, which has a 6498 base, I've had since 2006 or 2007. Never had it serviced.
Hmm.
Um, the timekeeping, I'm not 100% sure, nor do I care. It's a two-handed movement, so like I can't tell how accurate it is for real. I think it is a little bit slow, but that doesn't bother me.
Right.
I really don't care. I don't wear that watch necessarily for timekeeping per se. I just love the look for it. I mean, if it gives me a general idea of what the time is, like a minute or two off, I'm okay with that. I have other
Right.
watches that are accurate, and that's fine with me. But other than that, like I don't think like I have ever maybe sent something here or there because there was something wrong with the piece that was pre-owned or something like that, and that was quickly ameliorated. But never really had that much of an issue. And I buy into that philosophy that he has, right? If it ain't broke, you don't need to fix it, right?
That's
I mean, like,
exactly right.
if it tells time, fine, it's fine.
I
Um,
said that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I had a Weiss field watch, and there was some little particles of dust on the dial, and it was just
yeah.
bothering me because it was like a navy blue dial. And so I sent it back, and when I got it back, the crown was much more gritty, like the winding,
Mm,
than when I sent it in.
hmm.
So I was kicking myself like, oh, I probably should just live with the dust. But we know how that is. You
Yeah.
pay a lot of money for a watch, then you keep, especially when it's a white particle on a navy blue dial, you kind of just see it
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
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 So
Absolutely. Let's catch up with the chat just a bit here. Hey, Joey B saying Phil's took 2 out of 3 from the Mets. Most
yes,
importantly, well, yeah. I mean, Mrs. Legs is a big Mets fan. We're actually going this Saturday, Joey B, to Shea. I was gonna say Shea City Field and I think they're playing the Phils. So a little birthday present for her.
Tigers are making a wild card push here. Also,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
My O's are fighting it out for the Yanks for first place. So.
we got 2 out of 3 from you today or this
Uh,
weekend.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know they're slumping at the wrong time. I am from Oakland, James says, and we don't have any professional
Oh,
teams.
that's
Sorry,
sad.
man. Sorry, buddy. Um, by those characteristics, I think I may need a service. Okay. Cheers, everyone. How you doing, Young Excellency? Good to see you. Joey B saying recently serviced my North Flag. Amplitude was very low, and it was running around 15 to 20 seconds per day, and the service was only $400. Yeah, you know what?
Oh,
In that instance, yeah, I
yep.
mean, go for it. I totally agree. Um, Hatani's the goat. All right. Yeah, I mean, like, I think Judge is having a better year, but anyway, Mez9 says cheers all. Um, okay, good to see you, Mez9. All right, going to the next one. Next question here for Federico. Um, for those who buy ultra luxury watches, is the next question, greater than 50K, what industry do they work in? And Fed decided to. He said there was two char- um, characteristics, or two, like, I guess, quote unquote, industries. And he started off with the second one. The second one being finance. He notices a lot of finance guys, equity or futures traders, hedge fund managers are some of his clientele for the higher than greater than 50K luxury watches. And then he said the second one wasn't necessarily industry specific, but it was business owners, not employees. Not necessarily. It didn't really matter what field they were in, but they were people, they were business owners. They were calling the shots, and I started thinking. I thought about that a lot today, right? I mean, like, what it means to be a business owner, and kind of like you can command your own destiny. Like, the sky's the limit, right?
Right.
As much, you're a business owner, right? Me and my wife, we own a business. The sky's the limit. Of what you can make, it all depends on, like, your sweat equity, right?
That's
Like,
right.
and how
How
much
hard do
effort
you
you
want to
put in.
work?
Yeah, exactly. So that was interesting. He said he's become friends with a lot of his clientele, and so that's what he's noticed. Business owners first, and then finance guys second.
And this is like really, I'm ashamed to even admit it, but how hard I work. I think about it in terms of buying watches.
Yeah,
It's like, well, I'm just lucky where I'm just busy without even, really having to advertise or anything anymore. But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, gosh, buying watches is a major consideration. I think I'm probably not alone in that. It's
yeah.
when I think about my budget and what, it's all, or if I
Absolutely.
buy something else for the business, like I bought my van, it was kind of,
Yeah,
I was like, well, I guess I have to, I know this is great for my business and all, but I can't buy watches now
yeah,
for a
yeah, yeah.
while.
I told.
It's
I
pathetic.
told.
It's sad.
No, no, you're not alone, my friend. You're not alone. I think about that as well. I think about how many watches is this going to cost me, this particular. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Going on to the third question. Do you have any relationships with watch creators? I think the person meant content creators, or at least that's what how Federico read it.
yeah.
Besides John, right? His former partner John. And Federico mentioned, a couple of names here. He's really good friends with Adam Golden from Mental Watches. I think that's what it was.
I didn't
I think
recognize that
I didn't
name.
recognize that name either.
Yeah.
But maybe somebody in the chat knows who Adam Golden is. I think he's actually said that he's kind of neighbors from the guy, with the guy, Roman Sharf, which makes sense. I mean, like, they're both dealers,
Right.
right? And I think Roman spends a lot of time probably in Miami, right? Time Teller, he mentions Teddy B's had conversations with Bruce Williams, Mark from Long Island Watch. Not super close with these guys per se, but just people he's had conversations with them. And yeah, James is picking up on Federico
Right.
suspiciously did not mention TGV and Christian Zeron.
They had a beef back in the day, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I remember like a video or two of the three of them in the same video, like talking watches, like having like
Yeah.
a conversation with both of them. And yeah, I mean, like, uh, I think I would love to know the little backstory. Like, who was the a-hole out of the three of them? Who broke up the band or whatever? No, not broke up the band, but anyway, I mean, I could see, like, like somebody like I could see, like, Federico being the kind of, like, the dick about the whole thing. I don't know.
I think TGV had a few relationships that he's probably
Soured.
responsible for. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Random Rob. There was something there too, or back in the day. Yeah,
Right. Well, but I think that the whole random run thing, that was before Rob even started a channel, right? I think it was Rob was. I think for a
Facebook
second.
page. I think it had
Yeah,
to do with. Yeah,
He's part of the Facebook group,
yeah,
and then something happened, and then, like, he was kicked out and stuff like that. Something like that happened, right? But it definitely sounded like TGV was, you know, um, or whoever was running the page for TGV was more of the culprit there.
right.
Anyway, I'm sure they're all fine guys on their own, but maybe some egos, right? Especially, I would imagine Christian and Federico may have a little rivalry because of because of the business that they're in. I mean, I know
Right.
Christian focuses more on vintage pieces, but
Well, a lot
you
of
know,
the dealers are friends because they buy and sell
right,
gear
right,
from each other.
right.
So
Maybe,
there's like
maybe
a
they're,
WhatsApp chats and all that stuff.
yeah, yeah. Maybe they're all best buds still. Like who
Yeah.
knows?
Who
But
knows?
but I did notice that, um, and James picked it up that he's no longer. Like, he didn't mention TGV.
Right.
Um, moving forward, Tang or deployant, right? This is an important question
Yeah.
that a lot of us face, and Federico said, he used to think, deploying all day long, right? But the more and more he, more watches and whatnot, he realized that not, even though the points are great, not all the points fit well for him, right?
Yep.
And so, thumbs up to the Tang buckle, because more times than not, way more times than not, it does the job, right? And it's fairly hassle free, right? Especially
Yep.
it's less hassle free. It's more hassle free than a deployant, right? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I'm Tang all the way.
Yeah,
Deployants do not work. Deployant clasps are a reason I sold the No Time to Die. Just wore terribly on me. I ordered an Aaron bespoke strap, and I got it with the deployant instead of the Tang, and it just didn't work.
yeah,
They just wear horribly on me. The only one that worked kind of well was the Cartier rubber strap that
hmm
came with the Santos.
hmm
But otherwise, I don't know. My wrist is just oddly shaped, and
yeah,
they just
yeah,
never wear well on me. So even though I think they feel more premium than
mhm,
just a traditional buckle and tang,
yeah,
yeah, I probably, unless I'm forced into it for some reason, and that's the only configuration I can get, I would
yeah.
probably just never get a deployant again.
Yeah, yeah, I got a
Yeah,
deployment on this one. It's okay. Yeah, it's good. I mean,
yeah,
it feels premium. But if this was on a Tang, I'd be totally fine with that too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's see here. Let's catch up with some of the people here mentioning what happened to Osen. I don't know. I don't know. Were they buds?
I watched a bit of his. I was thinking something like
Oh no,
happened
no.
in
But
this
yeah, yeah. Go
weekend.
ahead.
Oh no, I was watching his. I watched a little bit of it. His streams are a lot, and they're kind of like, I don't
Mhm.
know, just shit talking everybody. But
Yeah,
yeah, I watched a little bit Friday. I don't know, he seemed fine, but
yeah. He tell you he runs the gamut from watch talk. He'll talk political. He'll talk like
yeah,
like
I don't mind that
yeah,
necessarily, even though I
yeah,
don't agree with everything he says.
right.
But yeah, he usually just talking about Paul Thorpe, which
Yeah,
I get a
yeah,
little
yeah,
bored of.
yeah, yeah. That made it clear in one video that he lost all respect for TGV without actually saying it. Hmm, okay. I don't think Theo and Harris Watch Shop really does all that much biz.
They don't have a great reputation either, I don't think.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, what does he do? He sells. I think he does a lot of maybe film work, marketing work for some of these brands. I mean, I think he did it for Glasuta, um,
Yeah,
Nomos. I mean, and
not
some other
Brightling.
brands. Not writing, right? Right. Grant Sago, maybe. Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know what his what he where he makes money, and maybe it's his channel. I mean, he's
A lot
got
of
like
these guys do that. Talking Hands guy, Andrew
yeah,
Morgan, he does that too now.
yeah,
Now that he's independent, um,
yeah,
brands hire him to do marketing and that kind of thing.
yep. James Federico grew up and got serious. No comment for those other jabronis. Every time I just hear that word or read that word, it just makes me laugh. I don't know.
Jabronis.
Yeah, it's just like it's so. Yeah, I don't know.
I think of The Rock.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that? Did he used to say that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I used to love deploying class to extend the life of expensive stress, but I am indifferent now, says James. Hey, Ken. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Okay, let's hit that final topic question that he got. The new Mad 1S. He didn't enter the raffle this year. He did win the first one that came out. I believe the Mad one red. I don't think he had the actual first one that was given to. Oh, maybe no. Was there a raffle for that? The first one I thought was given to people who already own the MBNS, but maybe there was a raffle for that. Anyway, yeah, he likes it. I mean, it's thinner profile, more wearable. He likes the color scheme, and he likes the fact that like wearing having something from that was created by MBNF is actually pretty cool. I agree. I mean, it looks. I did a news video a week or two ago, and that was one of the watches that I reported on getting released, and just by judging on the specs, I just knew that it looked like it was going to be much more wearable. And they had upgraded the movement, I think, from a Miyota to maybe was it a Solita,
It,
or
no, it's is it Le
Le
Jouperet
Jouperet?
now?
Le
Yeah,
Jouperet, Le
yeah,
Jouperet, sure. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's right, because it was another Citizen
Right,
umbrella movement.
right.
Um, and um, and yeah, yeah. I mean, any thoughts? Did you enter the
I
raffle?
did not because I think Chaz we were talking and he mentioned that he was pretty sure because now they were charging your card or they were taking your card if you entered.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right.
So
That's right.
he had a pretty strong feeling that if you entered, you were going to win.
Okay.
That maybe this wasn't so much of a raffle as it was like, you. And now I think if this was your third time entering, you had double the chance as well.
Okay.
So I liked it before. I just want to win something. I like it before where you could win and not necessarily have to buy the watch. I think if you won in this instance, they charged your card. You had to buy it.
Yeah, but I mean, even the other Mad ones, if you won the raffle, you still had to pay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, no, but I typically you didn't have to enter the card, and then I went to go enter, and it was like enter the card, and I just don't like doing that. I just don't
Right.
like authorizing. I guess in a way I am authorizing by putting my card information there. But I'd rather have the choice still. And maybe people would have backed out in the past or whatever. Maybe that's why
And I
they
think
didn't
to
do that.
discourage the flippers and
Potentially,
yeah.
probably, right? Yeah, yeah.
But I'm not
Uh,
sure what the demand is on these anymore. I don't think you make big money on these anymore.
no, no. I think that
Yeah.
has been coming down. Like it's been as each model version has come out. I think
Right.
maybe the flippability of it is less appealing.
I'm wondering even if it's unworn and you try to like sell it to a Federico or something, if they'll even give you retail for it. I
Mm,
don't even, I'm not
probably
sure.
probably not. Probably not from like an online dealer. I think your best bet is try to sell it on your own.
Yeah.
If you want to maximize your
Right.
return on that. Joey B says, my brother has ownership in a Detroit pizza place called Jabroni's. Wow. Are you, is that, you're from Michigan. Have you ever heard of Jabroni's pizza?
No, I have
Okay.
not.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Hungry Howie's.
Hungry Howie's.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. James says I did not participate in the raffle because I did not want them.
Yeah. I felt like if I entered, I was probably going to win because my chances were doubled anyway.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think maybe demand is
Hmm.
down a little bit.
Mhm.
So if you enter, you were getting one. And
Yeah.
I definitely on some of the groups I'm in, the people that did enter won. I didn't
Yeah.
see anybody that lost after this one,
I
actually.
know I know somebody who won. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. You know what? I'm trying to avoid making like these like impulse type purchases, and even like entering is like an impulse
Yeah.
for me, and so because I really want to stick to. I made like a decision to stick to like I just want luxury pieces. I love affordable pieces, but I want to just try to stay away from them because it takes me away from getting like the Laureatos or the panel reserves that I want.
Right.
And so that's why like I really thought about entering but the whole thing with the credit, like I would have entered.
Would you
Um,
consider that a luxury piece? I think I
what
would.
the Mad one?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Borderline.
I I I I I I see it as kind of like a gimmick.
I showed it
You
to
know what
my
I mean?
wife because I have like terrible ADHD, and she's like, oh my gosh, that's a perfect watch for you. It spins. You'd never
Yeah,
get anything done." I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, that's probably true.
yeah. Joey wants to clarify. Detroit style pizza place in
Oh,
San
okay.
Clemente, California. Oh, okay.
Detroit style pizza is
Okay.
it's really taking off. There's a few really small, like you have to
Mm.
order days in advance. Detroit style pizza places out here.
So what makes it a Detroit style pizza
So there's
again?
a certain special pan that they use, and
Okay.
it's like angled. I guess I don't know if this is true, Joey. Maybe you can confirm. It originated in Detroit. special pans that were used in the auto industry. I think they started cooking pizzas in these, and it actually like the cheese coagulates on the edge, so it's almost like a cheese crust, and it's like
Oh,
it's thicker. It's like a square pan pizza,
okay. Okay.
um, but it's not like deep dish thick. But
Right.
it's the coagulated or cooked burnt cheese on the edges is just it's good. Yeah,
Okay.
there's like
Okay.
tomato sauce on top too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I gotta try. I've had Chicago. I've had New York, of course, style pizza. But never Detroit. So I definitely will find a way next time I'm in Michigan. It's a crispy square pan pizza
you said
with
it much
pizza
better than I
on
did.
the
Yeah,
edges and sauce
yeah,
on top.
yeah,
My favorite is Via 313 in Austin. Okay,
yeah.
awesome. All right, let's jump on to our next topic. 1916 Company, the fatal flaws of watches we love, Omega Tudor, and more. Take it away, Clayton.
So we'll go through these pretty quick. Tim can talk, taking notes. I haven't taken notes for a Tim video in a long time, so he is like our friend. This watch, that watch. He can talk. So I'll just go over these quickly, and then maybe we can all talk about some watches that either we owned and sold because of a flaw, or we love but we don't buy because of one fatal flaw. So he starts with the Speedmaster. The things to love about it. Legendary watch, obviously. It's a classic,
Mhm,
real history
mhm,
there. It's a genuine space watch. Astronauts, obviously, they wore it on the first moon landing. They're speedmasters in space right now. And the cool thing is, the one you buy is the same one the astronauts wear. It's the same spec.
mhm,
So that's really cool. You're not buying like a less technically innovative one. You're buying the same exact one that they are wearing up in space right now. The flaws, 50 meters water resistance. We hear this a lot,
yeah.
right? About the Speedmaster. People are afraid to get caught in the rain with the Speedmaster. He thinks it should be 100. There are plenty of push down crown chronographs that have 100 meters water resistance.
Yeah.
I think Omega states you can swim up to 50 meters in their watches. That's what their water resistance means, I think. But he just wishes that added security of 100 were there. He thinks the pricing is mostly fair on these, but the delta between the Sapphire Sandwich and the Hesselite is a little ridiculous. $1,000 extra for the
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
sapphire sandwich. Um, how much is a little piece of sapphire crystal? They're not paying much for that at all. $50 or whatever he said.
yeah.
And some of the previous generations on the see-through on the sapphire sandwich, they were better finished movements, but that's not the case on the new model. It's exactly the same finishing on either the Hesselite or the sapphire sandwich. So he doesn't really understand why that gulf is there between the
Mm-hmm.
Hesselite and the
Yeah,
sapphire sandwich. And it's a common watch. He said it's as common as those Toyota taxis in Hong Kong. So if you don't want to see your watch everywhere you go, even in outer space, if you happen to go to outer space somehow, you may want to choose a different watch. But
yeah, yeah,
how do you feel about the Speedmaster? Does it being a common watch, like it's common for a reason, right? I mean,
yeah,
sometimes that can be a turnoff, like, oh, everybody and their brother has one, but that's online in our universe. If I
yeah,
saw someone on the street with a Speedmaster, and I actually like, oh, hey, wearing a Speedmaster, cool. Like, I think it's cool, but
yeah,
I think sometimes we get a little sick of it just because we're so invested in this
yeah.
world.
I love the Speedy. I think he's absolutely right about the delta between the Hesselite and the Sapphire. Why, God, why? Also, I think what has turned me off, and I feel like one day I will get a Speedy, maybe not the new current model, but I don't. So the price point, right? And although he says it's fair, and maybe he's right, I feel like the escalation of the price in the last couple of years has been way too much to stomach for me and maybe for
Yeah,
some
they're
people.
expensive.
Now, it's not my fault that maybe um, Omega underpriced these for such a long time. But now that they are priced what they are, they feel like they're overpriced, and maybe they're not, but they feel like overpriced based on previous pricing over the last couple of years. Now I
And
know
especially when you know where secondary pricing goes if you try to sell
yeah,
it too, right?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I mean, I know things have gotten more expensive the last couple of years because of inflation. But if I was in the market for a Speedy, I am not buying a new one, and it's not because the less appealing finishing of the current movement. It's because I know I can get a really great deal at a really good looking watch in great condition on the secondary market.
Yeah, right. The Nautilus, we can go over this one real quick. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I've handled the Nautilus before, actually. Nautilus chronograph,
Mm.
an older one, but it's pretty cool. But things to love, great size, 40 millimeter thin. One of the slimmest 100 water resistant, 100 meter water resistance watches you will ever find. Brand integrity, family owned. They discontinued this watch when it was at the height of its popularity because they didn't want it to overshadow their other watches in their collection. They don't overproduce, they don't do blowouts to gray market dealers. It's a brand to be proud of, and they take care of the owners of their watches as well. And the MSRP he thinks is pretty fair too. The flaws on this, it's a hype watch, social media burnout. We've seen all the trendy
Mm.
celebrities wear these. It's a little we get a little burnout on that. You're fighting collectors and non-watch people if you want to buy one of these because it is so hyped up.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you don't want to be associated with certain people who are into these watches and buying these watches. The older models didn't hack, so if you happen to find an older one, you're not going to get hacking. The bracelet had pin sleeves also, which is yeah, boy, sometimes on these
Yeah.
higher end watches, the things they do that just are head scratchers. I know they're more secure than screws, really, but I mean, they're just really a pain in the butt, especially when you're
Yes.
sizing a watch that
Yeah.
expensive. Oh my God,
Yeah.
I'd have a heart
Yeah.
attack.
Yeah.
The clasp isn't all that great. I mean, the Tiffany prices are crazy too. He showed
Yeah.
them on Chrono 24 in the millions, I think.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about the Nautilus? You have
Yeah.
any feelings about that? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's for me, it's like, nothing that I mean, I think it's a very good looking watch.
Yeah.
I've never handled one in person. I've seen them, but I've never handled it. I've heard the same, gripes about the watch as you just mentioned that Tim had mentioned. But you know what? It's so like far fetched that I don't even spend
Right.
too much time thinking
Yeah.
about it. You know.
Speaking of that, the Longa Zeitwerk is the next one he talks about, which
Mm,
is a watch that's so far removed from anything I could buy that I don't think about it too much. He thinks it's a
mm,
gorgeous movement, innovative
mm-hmm.
watch. The flaws are its size, too big, like a hockey puck,
Yeah.
large, heavy. The older models had a shorter power reserve,
Mm-hmm.
36 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Adjusting the time was difficult. I think
Mm-hmm.
with the complication, there can be some variances in the timekeeping, he said as well. The minute disc pre jump bothers people
Mm-hmm.
also. Some people have had an issue with that. And then one of the commenters said the dial looks like a fat guy in a t shirt.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't, I know we have friends who are into Longa, and
Yeah.
but I don't know how you feel about it.
I love the Zywork.
Yep.
And for a while I considered like really truly like a grail kind of piece. Here's the thing that he didn't mention, which I was surprised: the $5,000 service cost
Ugh,
to service the watch.
right.
You know what I mean? And you're gonna have to, and from what I understand, you're gonna have to service this watch like every like 5 years. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And so for me, that would be the huge that is the huge deal breaker. Not that I would ever be able to afford one, but like that has helped me conveniently get that watch out of my head.
Yeah, right.
You know?
That's why I don't even like pay attention to some of these watches. I would destroy this thing. Like
Yeah. Oh
just
yeah, yeah. You for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
like so that's kind of why that's why I like I do like my Bozer so much because of that
Yeah.
movement. I mean, it's just it's their
Yeah.
sport movement. It can take it.
Solid.
But yeah, some of these as beautiful as I think the Zywork is, it's just
Mhm.
I would
It's a
never
beautiful watch.
unless I drastically change careers
Yeah.
and make a lot more money.
Oh man, I saw one a couple years ago in honey gold. That honey gold, oof,
Yeah,
silver dial, so beautiful.
right. They are nice.
Yeah.
Then he goes to the Omega Seamaster Professional 300.
Mm,
Um, things to love: $5,900 on the bracelet versus what a sub costs. I mean, kind of a no-brainer if you're shopping divers. Cool technology. Great clasp micro adjust system. Design continuity sort of been the same for last 30 years. One of the longest running outside the Speedmaster in Omega's lineup that kind of looks the same as it did when it debuted in 94. The flaws: current model is in its seventh year. Now getting a little long in the tooth and probably due for an upgrade. He thinks in the next 12 to 24 months
Mm,
they're going to update it. And I think that the bracelet could probably use an upgrade.
mm,
The bezel's hard to turn. I've complained about that a lot.
yeah.
He thinks the action is okay, it feels okay, but it's just hard to grip. And I
Mm,
agree. Wet hands or dry hands. He thinks it's a little too thick. If you were to compare it to a Submariner, also just a bit
mm,
of a thick watch. Um, the power reserve is only 55. And I know Mike from This Watch That Watch has talked about how that movement probably needs an update. I mean, you
mm,
have Swatch group watches like Mito have 80 hours of power reserve, so
mm.
Omega probably needs to catch up. Again, that doesn't really bother me,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
he thinks its star power may have faded a little bit with Brosnan exiting the Bond franchise. I don't know. I think it came back a little bit with the No Time to Die.
yeah,
Yeah, and also Daniel Craig was just spotted wearing like a mystery
yeah,
model,
yeah,
right? So I
yeah,
still think it has. I mean, it's one of the most prevalent watches among collectors. It's
yeah, yeah,
beloved. I think it looks $1,000,000. I don't love every aspect of wearing it and
yeah,
interacting with it, but I keep being drawn back to them because I just think it's a damn sexy looking watch.
yeah.
And one of the commenters said, and I actually scratched this on one of my watches, the AR coating on the outside of the crystal. Omega does that on their watches. So, I mean, sometimes you can't really tell only in certain lighting, but you have sapphire crystal and then you put an outer layer of AR coating, which can scratch, and
Mhm,
it's kind of a pain in the butt. So I wish brands wouldn't do that.
mhm.
Breitling does it also. Their AR coating is incredible. But yeah, if you happen to scratch it, then
Yeah,
it's visible.
it's busy. Yeah, yeah. A couple weeks ago, I was sitting across from my buddy. It was his mother's like 70th birthday party, and he has a Seamaster 300 professional, and on a rubber strap blacked out. And man, that watch looks so good.
Yeah,
That watch looks good. I mean, I've never owned one.
they
I
are
think
good looking.
I'm a big fan of that blue dial with the Sedna gold. Um,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So that to me, that would be the one I would get, you know? But I mean, I don't think, I mean, and I've heard your complaints about it. And yeah, I mean, like I would have to, like, there's nothing that would like stop me from getting this watch, I think at this point, just because I think, especially on a secondary, you could pick these up pretty reasonable. And, if it didn't work out, I'll sell it, maybe lose $100 or two or $200 or
yeah,
whatever. And I could be okay with that as a rental fee.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, you buy them pre-owned. I've bought them all pre-owned, and
mm,
I've done fairly well
yeah.
selling them. Yeah. Um, let's just cover a couple more here real quick. IWC Big Pilot,
Mm,
uh, impressive power
huge.
reserve and presence, right?
Yeah.
A true do-it-all sports watch, legible day and night, an icon of
Yeah.
IWC, very well priced, he thinks as well. The
Mm,
flaws, the 56 millimeter lug to lug,
mhm,
just not a lot of people that can pull that off.
mm-mm.
Timekeeping issues depending on the power reserve level. It may run a little fast if it's all wound up. If you're only a day or two left, it goes down a little bit. Closed case back. He thinks this movement is actually very pretty and deserves an open case back. Fleegers can be had for much cheaper. That's always been my thing with a Fleeger.
Yeah.
Like, would I
Yeah.
spend big money on a Flieger when I can just get a Laco that looks just like it or a Stova?
Yeah.
And then the troubling history of issuing watches to the Luftwaffe. There's that to consider
Yeah.
also with some of these brands. But
Yeah. Yeah. The size is the killer. I mean, like the big Pilot 43, that's a good size for me. The big, what is it, like a 45? My buddy who has a wrist size, the size, my size, maybe slightly smaller, has one.
wow.
And it looks, it does look like a dinner plate on his wrist. He don't care.
Yeah, if he
He don't
likes it,
care.
rock it,
He
man.
likes it. He loves
Yeah,
it. He loves it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
yeah, yep. I agree. I've yet to find that IWC that makes me like excited. So what is the chronograph that has like the teal indices and registers?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That came out last year or
Yeah,
so.
my buddy John has that watch,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that was
yeah,
the first one that I saw that made my heart flutter a little bit. Like, okay, this is nice.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's
It's
a
in
good looking machine.
titanium, I think. Also, I
I'm not
want to say.
sure if the metal probably. I like the petite prints. Um,
Yeah,
the 41. I think it comes at 41 or 43. Anyway,
the
there's
lug to
something
lug's
about
long on all of them. Even like the
they are.
39
Yeah.
millimeter, they still are a little longer than I like.
Yeah, it's very
The
typical
Spitfire,
German. I mean,
yeah,
I know that's Swiss, but I mean the German,
right,
type influence and
yeah.
and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, I like their 41 Chronos. IWC, I was like, obsessing of them like maybe late last year, early this year. Um, and even like like some of the other like the Portuguese, or there's a Portuguese or two that I like. I don't know. I mean, like I feel like, man, there's so many watches that I want, and IWC is on the list. Whether I get to buy one day or not, I'm not sure. But I mean, it's always on the back of my mind.
You can't own them all. You
Yeah,
just,
you can't own them.
as
Right,
hard as
right.
we try.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's finish up with the Tudor Black Bay.
Okay.
Uh, you know, the price, the things
Yeah.
we love, the
Yeah.
price, the value, the design, long power reserve,
Yeah.
certified chronometer.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
T-Fit clasp is really great. It's
Yeah.
on most models that are coming out that are new now. There's so many options for size. You get the Heritage if you like something
Yep.
bigger, chunkier. You get the
Yep.
58 if you want that 39. You
Mhm.
want something even smaller than that. You can get the 54. There's the couple GMTs you can get in there. The P01 if you want something
Yeah.
a little odd.
Yeah.
Uh, and then the flaws. There's just tons
Yeah.
of them out there. It's
Absolutely.
not unique. If you want to watch
Yeah.
that's unique or exclusive,
Yeah.
the Black Bay is not it for you.
Yeah.
The Heritage, it's thick slab side. I've actually found them to be fine. I
Yeah.
owned that GMT for a little while and I
Yeah.
actually really enjoyed wearing it. I like. I'm just not a fan of GMT, so I sold it
Yeah.
because I just like don't like them. But I thought it wore nice.
Yeah.
Um, Display case back is not a good thing on these ones, especially on like the
Agreed.
gold BB58. It's just it's
Yeah.
not a very handsome looking movement.
Yeah.
And you can get more gold if they just
Yeah.
gave it a gold case back, and then you could do like a cool engraving on it or something like that. Kinesi is not exclusive to Tudor anymore. Several
Mhm.
brands are using them now. If that was it, and then of course the faux rivets, which
Yeah.
don't bother me in the
Don't
least. You
bother me
can't
at
even
all.
see them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Absolutely. I mean, like there's nothing that will stop me from buying another Tudor. If not to say that I will, right? I've owned like three Black Bay 58s in my lifetime. I really like. I would love to see in person that new Black Bay 58 GMT with
yeah,
that Coke bezel type coloration. Uh, and then the burgundy is such a good looking dial
that's
color.
really nice. The Metis.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so that's not, I mean, nothing's going to stop me from buying another Tudor if I wanted to buy another Tudor,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So,
No, I like the brand.
yeah.
I know they're not that exciting design
Mhm.
wise, and
I love the snowflake hands though, man. I
yeah,
love it.
me
I
too.
love
Yeah, yeah. I don't love everything. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know that I feel the need to buy another Tudor
it. Hmm.
unless they like really knock my socks off with something. Like
Hmm.
I have the FXD. It's one of
Hmm.
my favorite watches. I think I'm good there. But they might come out with something um, different versions of the. For a while, I was like, oh, it'd be kind of fun to collect all the FXDs because I do
Yeah.
love but I don't know. That's a lot of
Yeah. Yeah.
resources to. There's so many other watches I'd rather have than
Yeah.
multiples of.
Yeah.
But I know a few guys. I'm in a few groups with one guy in particular. He's collecting all of them. I think he has every single version of the FXD now. He just had
Wow.
that bicycle one,
Yeah.
cycling one.
That's a commitment.
Yeah,
Albert, he likes them, but he likes the ones that are non-Black Bay series.
yeah, yep. So any watches that
I thought of one
you thought of one. Okay, that
because we were
watches that
talking.
are like a fatal flaw that you wouldn't buy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but that I've actually owned because
Okay.
for the chat's sake, we were Clayton and I were talking before the stream started, and I was like, I don't know if I really can think of something that has a fatal Sea of Clouds. Loved that watch, loved
Yep.
it. Um, but the high polish on that 44 GS case, like it made me. It started, and I usually don't get nervous about this kind of stuff, right? Like, once I get like one little scratch, okay, then I'm good. All right, I got it in. But this one I was afraid to wear after a while because like it was just so the polish was so perfect.
I scratched mine the day I bought it.
Yeah, that's
There's a big scratch on the lug.
but like once I made that mental connection or decision in my head that I couldn't, I mean, it was gone.
Yeah.
It was gone, and then it mattered. And I think Joey B bought it from me. And then I think he sold it like not too far along after that. And I don't know.
I
If that
sold
was
mine, and we come full circle because I can't wear their bracelets. They don't work on my weird shaped wrist apparently. And then I bought the Aaron bespoke beaver tail strap for that watch, and I got it with a deployant, and that didn't work. And I actually sold it and put an air conditioning unit on the back of my van. So
there you go.
It worked.
Awesome. And what about you?
Yeah, I think GS bracelets keep me from ever buying another one until they do something with it. Just because I like to wear a watch on a bracelet, and as beautiful as those movements are, and like to give spring drive another crack sometime. But yep, that holds me back. That's probably the fatal flaw for me. I'm sure there's several, but I can't really.
Yeah.
Doxa, something and I don't even know what it is. Something has always stopped me from buying Doxa. When I got into watches, that was one of the first brands where I was like, oh, these are really nice. Like this is something I could totally wear. And I don't know, I've never bought one, and something always stops me. There's just another watch that I'd rather have that jumps ahead of it in line for whatever reason. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I can't even explain what it might be.
I've never bought a Doxa either. I really like like the 300T. I think it's the 300T or the 300. I forget which one. It's one of them. I just off the top of my head, I'm not really. I forget which one it is that I like over the other. Anyway, I just something always, and you said it perfectly. Something always jumps ahead of line.
Yep.
Like in front of it every time I think about. But I don't think there's anything that will stop me. It's just like
I will own one day.
Yeah. I will. I promise you, I will own one.
There's some good prices on secondary.
Of course,
I'm in a Slack group for the Gray NATO podcast, and of course those guys are like big Doxa guys. So there's a lot of Doxas that pop up, and some of the prices. I mean, in that Slack, like holy crap, the Doxa prices you see in there, like it really wouldn't be that much of a gamble if you decide you didn't like it. You could get your money back, but even then, I still haven't.
Yeah. All right. Hey, listen. Let's while we have a few minutes, let's do a little football talk.
I'm down.
And specifically, hold on one second. You have something that you might be interested in, right?
Yes.
As a Detroit Lion fan, brightly coming out with the NFL teams collaboration. It looks like here, and this is not a bad looking watch, man. I like it.
I think it's really nice. So I did my podcast that came out yesterday. I talked about novelty watches and how much we're willing to spend on them. When I saw this announcement, and I thought like, oh, that's kind of lame. Like then I saw this watch, and I was like, oh wow, wait a minute, that's actually really nice. And then I romanticized it, like I come from a long line of Lions fans. It'd be cool to wear this every game day with like the rest of my Lions swag. But the logo at the subdial, I just wasn't sure. There's only 104 of each team. They made one for all 32 teams. Some teams are nicer than others. Like this Lions one's nice. I think the Dolphins, Raiders, like we said, kind of hard to screw up. Silver and black. Right? The Steelers is kind of cool, but some of the others are not all that nice. But
so I'm a Washington fan. Let's take a look at the Raiders one. Because it's probably I would imagine it's this and the Cowboys, just because Cowboys fans are everywhere.
Right,
are probably going to be the two most hardest to get.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Here's the one thing, and hopefully it comes up pretty quickly here for Washington. Let me just hold my thought. Oh, of course. Can I just? What can I do here? Come on. Let's do.
Website's still better than Rolex's website.
Yeah, that's true. Boomer alert. Come on. Let me go. Okay, thank you. the thing is, like, I don't know if like the Commanders. I mean, if that's going to be their name in a couple years.
Right.
But then does that make it even more appealing as a
Well, I think the
collectible?
W is just on there, right? So
Yeah, but this is like not
that's the.
like this the W might change as well. Hello, come on, click, come on.
So I did. Spoiler alert! I did inquire with Topper about it. I
Uh,
wanted to buy for my AD in Jersey, who I got the Air King from, but she said it might be difficult for them to. These are apparently selling well, and so it might be difficult
oh,
to track down. And then Topper, they had to go through Breitling. They just didn't have these in stock. Like if somebody was
mhm,
interested, you inquired, and then they reach out to Breitling. There was one Detroit Lions left, and it was on the rubber. So we
yeah,
think I think it's gonna happen. But
wow.
and so my wife's like pretty supportive. She's like, yeah, if it's pretty cool if you want it. So her you know which one? Her mom and her husband are Titans fans. The Titans one's actually pretty nice too. Um,
Titan, let's see if we can find that one. Let me
but
figure it out.
yeah,
Okay.
that's one of the and then yeah, some of the teams you just never really think about. Like I don't think the Bears one's very nice. The Packers, I hate the Packers anyway, but
Let's see here, Titans.
Titans is okay.
Is it that light blue? Whoa, whoa, whoa! What happened here? What happened? I picked the wrong link. Okay, let's see here. Okay, here it is. Yeah,
It's not bad.
not no, not bad. I'm not crazy about it. I think I would have liked it if the colors were, if the light blue was the dial color
Yeah,
and the dark blue was the indices. I mean the hands. Um, I think that would have stuck out a little bit better, but that probably would have been too similar to like the Detroit one.
I know there is
Because,
some color overlap with certain teams. Yeah, the Bills one's pretty cool. Some people didn't like the Giants. The thing with the Giants and the Patriots, like the subdial and chronograph hands are red. And I don't know.
mhm.
I just didn't like the way it looked.
Yeah, Bills are pretty cool. It's not bad. Wow, there's a lot of teams that have blue, huh?
Yeah,
Why can't I just zoom in? What's going on with the site?
that's Teddy, right? Come on, Teddy.
Oh, it's Teddy. Is that the link?
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably why. Yeah, no, I like the Bills. I like the
And the
Bills.
Chronomat is so I made a mistake in my podcast. I said that the regular Chronomat is like $6,000, but that's not true. The regular Chronomat's actually around 8 or more. So there's not really a big price difference between these and the regular standard Chronomat. It's got a great movement. They're built like tanks. I think these watches. So
Hmm.
it's a watch I will wear. I'll wear it a lot. So
Wow, it's crazy. I don't know if this is my browser not rendering, but on their site, look at that fuzzy these thumbnails for these watches look.
the
It's
Bengals,
chart.
is that the Bengals one? Yeah, that's kind of weird.
There's
Oh, that's
Broncos,
Broncos.
and Kansas City.
Yeah.
Um, there's the Dolphins, Buffalo. Oh, let's see how bad the Jets are gonna look.
Yeah. I showed that one to my brother-in-law because he's a Jets fan. He liked it, but
Yeesh. I don't know, man. That's no good.
the high
Don't
school
like
I
it.
went to was the Jeffers Jets, and they use the same exact color scheme.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
That'd
that's
be like
funny.
my high school watch.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, look, a lot of fun there. If I was independently wealthy and had like, whatever. If I was a
Yeah.
business owner.
I'm
Oh my
surprised
God.
they're I was surprised when she told me they all kind of sold out of these and there was just one left. Like, wow.
Well, well, I could see like okay, so maybe some of the players.
Yeah. There's
You know
only
what I mean? Like
104 of each team,
104 of them,
so
right? You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, Wilson. He's from that area. He probably got
Yep.
one because he's everybody loves Wilson, and they probably just gave one to him for free. You
But this
know,
is a watch, like I said, I probably will never sell. But when I croak, I come from my young nephews are all Lions fan, so it might
Yeah.
be fun for one of them to have old dead uncle's old
Yeah.
Lions watch.
Old Uncle Clayton's
Yeah.
Lions watch. Yeah. Well, man, hey, listen, great one tonight. Chat. Thank you so much for participating. We do appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you. Great chat tonight. Thank you.
This will go on your podcast channel.
Yeah. Shoot me
in
the
a
audio
couple
when you
days.
get a chance, and I'll put it
Yeah,
up. Yeah, tomorrow
sometime
or
tomorrow when
Tuesday.
it
Or,
fully.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it fully downloads tomorrow or something like that. I don't know how it works, but yeah, I'll send it to you. So we'll have the podcast for Homer at some
Yes.
point this week. Anyway, guys, we'll see you next Sunday for another episode of Watch Soup. Have a great night. Take
Thank
care.
you, guys.